Mwiriwe. Good evening. Mumbabarire nje kuvuga mu cyongereza kugira ngo inshuti zacu abashyitsi baje kudushyigikira kubana natwe hano kudufata mu mugongo tujyane, kandi ndakeka ko n'abanyarwanda bari hano bakurikira icyongereza. Yaba ari byo?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me try to recognize those who came here ahead of me. From Lillian, thank you very much for your work. Arda Peterson Senhenga, thank you for your prayer. Yves Mutejima, Chair, thank you for your words. Mayor of Oxford, James Fry, thank you so much for being with us and thank you for your words. Sam Hunt, Chairperson SARF, thank you for your words and thank you for the work you do with our communities. The children who did a poem here, thank them wherever they are, they did great. Susan Purcell, Chair Oxfordshire, thank you so much. RCA, they did a song, Apollinaire Group, thank you very much. Adrian Rudahunga, survivor, I don't know whether he's back in the room. Abamama baririmbye 100 days. I don't know where they are. Thank you so much. Chairman Jabo Butera, Chairperson of Rwanda National Association of Rwandan Communities. Thank you for your message. I want to thank you all for this evening and for this time. And I really hope I will be brief. My briefness is a complicated thing for me. I think I was not trained about that one, but I will really try. I'll do my best. Why do we commemorate? Why do we sit here? Why do we make time and come from our homes on a chilly afternoon, and we have other things to do, and we travel the length and breadth of England to come here? Why do we do it? I think whenever we are here, it's important to ask that question and to answer. Each of us should have a conviction about what we are doing. And sometimes we say, it is obvious, people know what happened. People have just listened to a testimony from a live young person who went through hell. People think it is quite obvious, but I think we should always find the reasons why we do it and be committed to those reasons. And my assessment, my thinking is like this. The seeds of disunity, the seeds of division were sowed openly. Openly in Rwanda. The seeds of dividing us were sowed openly. It was probably even in meetings like this. So we need these same meetings to sow the seeds of unity, to take ourselves back in time and tell ourselves that this country of ours called Rwanda, Mayor, the few mayors, our love for our country. If you look back and look at these people, we love our country so much. We might have gone through problems, but we love our country to death. So we need to remember that the seeds of disunity were planted. Rwanda was a nation. It lived thousands of years as a nation. And by a nation, I mean a people with a language that is one language, that is with a culture, with their own traditions, with the specific space they occupy, their land, with many things that on which they don't differ. Many things, except just economic activities or social activities which they could belong to or not belong to. So Rwanda was a nation. But the seeds of dividing Rwandans, separating them, and growing a wider rift in between them, to the point that in 1994, probably before, after independence and onwards, or just before, the world started hearing things like tribes. If I ask our friends not from Rwanda, from outside of Rwanda, I'm sure you started hearing about tribes in Rwanda. Hutu tribe, Tutsi tribe, Twa tribe. These tribes never existed. Until today, they don't exist. It's not about me, because I'm a high commissioner. It's about science and facts and history. These tribes didn't exist. I've just been checking quickly when I was sitting there, a number of countries and ethnicities that have differences and, which you can tell, these are different. The United Kingdom has the English, the Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish, different guys, different people, some with a different language. Am I wrong? I'm told Welsh is the language you can't speak, and English, they are not the same as English. I'm told. I don't know whether I'm right. Belgium has over 19 ethnicities. Germany has over 22 ethnicities. Switzerland has over 7. Sweden has more than 18. Now, those are differences with people. They are different. The space they occupy is different. Their language is different. Their cultures are different. Their traditions are different. They're different. Rwandans were one nation. We occupied one space. We had the same everything. But then there was a time in the world when it was okay to look at people in terms of race, in terms of superiority, in terms of differences. And that wasn't African. It came from Europe. It wasn't African. It came from Europe. Racial superiority played a big role in the 1945 and before, didn't it? So, in Rwanda, the reason we come here, and we will continue to come, and we should continue to come and commemorate the genocide against the Tutsi, it's because the seeds of division and the whole journey of division happened in broad daylight, happened as people saw. People saw Rwandans getting divided more and more and more. So that's one big reason that we should commemorate. Second big reason is we should always drum the drums of unity. Because the drums of disunity were beaten, were drummed for so many years. As people watched. This home where Rudahunga went to an elderly lady who was a Christian who prayed with his mother, and she said, look, you guys, you are my children, I should be protecting you, but someone will come here and kill you and also kill me with you. That was the situation in Rwanda. That lady knew the power of unity, the power of togetherness, knew the power of who Rudahunga is to that mother. In Rwanda, mothers are our mothers, all of us. They are not mothers of so and so only. They belong to all of us. If you are a father, you are a father to everybody. That's our culture, that's our tradition. But the genocide scattered all that. So why would we commemorate? To bring that back. When I see parents from Oxford, when I see parents from Plymouth, when I see parents from Manchester, here, Coventry, everywhere, I'm so overjoyed because we are bringing back our Rwanda. And we will bring it back. And we should bring it back. The third reason that I think is connected, the second one is that next generations, they now know, they have a glimpse, they now detect what the United Rwanda meant, what the Rwanda as a nation meant. The young generations now know. True, you might have been born in a situation where division was rife, ethnic extremism was rife, but now, 29 years down the road, you have detected, you have tested, you have seen, you have lived. And that's how we intend that Rwanda of yesterday is going to be in our past. But the Rwanda of today and the Rwanda of tomorrow is our Rwanda. We might have had a terrible past, but we will not have a terrible future. We shouldn't. That would be another tragedy. The third reason is we always need to stand up to denial. Genocide is the crime of crimes. Those who committed it will always try to deny it. Those who were found in Rwanda, on Rwandan soil, and they were brought to justice, and they went through the Gacaca process, they no longer find a reason to deny anything. They now find a reason to live with the new dispensation that we are all trying to craft. But there are those who found their way out of Rwanda into other countries, including this country we are sitting in, for whom justice has not been done. But if that hasn't been done, what they are doing themselves and their network of friends and their support groups is to deny the genocide. So as we are here, we are an army of pushing back on deniers. All of us, each of you, wherever you are, push back on genocide denial. Don't allow anybody to deny the genocide and just walk out of the room. Tell them they are lying. Only that word, tell them they are lying. Tell them they are denying the genocide. Tell them and walk away before they walk away. Tell them they are liars in their face. Because they are. So the reason we come here is to remind each other that we need to stand on our guard. We shouldn't let our guard down. And then the reason we come here is to remember things like what Mr. Rudahunga has just told us. The genocide against the Tutsi was committed in broad daylight for 100 days. People woke up in the morning, like we all wake up in the morning and go to work. Even in the language, it was called going to work. So you go to work in the morning, you come back at 5 in the evening. If you are the wife, then the husband has made for you tea and dinner. If you are the wife, the husband, then your wife has prepared dinner for you, and you shower, and next morning you go. 100 days. And you're killing people. That's the work you are doing. So we should not forget that, because when we are speaking about it in Oxford, someone who is new to us, someone who is a friend to us, someone who we bring into our communities, might start thinking it is just crime, like you can go in the night, waylay me at my home, and shoot me and run away at night, in the middle of the night. No. Genocide was created by friends, by neighbors, was committed by friends, by neighbors, by leaders, by Christian leaders, by preachers, by leaders of government, by soldiers, by policemen that knew each other, that knew the people they were killing. That's how, in 100 days, it was easy to massively kill people. So when we come here, we remember that fact, and we get it known to other people that the genocide in Rwanda, what didn't happen at night? It didn't carry people from one place to go to kill in another place. No, people woke up and went to their neighbor 10 meters away and killed them. 20 meters away and killed them. Then 1 kilometer, killed them. Then community work. Okay, let's go and kill many people. Let's run all of us to the next church, to the school, to the whatever it is, and kill people and come back. Nobody killed far away from where they lived. And then incitement, the other reason we should come here and exchange on these things is that incitement to genocide, when we are here in the Western world, there are certain values and principles the Western world holds so dear, like freedom of speech. Free speech is something so sacrosanct in the West, and it should be so sacrosanct everywhere. But you know what happened during the genocide? Radios in Rwanda, from morning to evening. There is a specific radio that you probably know the name, called RTLM, but there are also other papers and other publications which on a daily basis simply did genocide as radios by saying so and so is not yet dead, please go look for him. That family, we don't know where they are, nobody has accounted for their bodies. So go and do the killing. Or, pushing reluctant people who are reluctant to go and kill, just call them out on radio. These guys are reluctant. If they are reluctant, go and kill them also. So you actually whip them into going to kill. So that was free speech. That was free speech. We have been told variously that the radios could not be jammed, could not be bombed, because that would be violation of free speech. So these are things we shouldn't forget. Should remember them. So free speech was a tool to kill so many Rwandans because people are on the radio. Maybe that's a conversation that people should have, but we should have to go through them in places like now. The other point we should commemorate is that the Rwanda Patriotic Front and its army, the Rwanda Patriotic Army, stopped the genocide. It was outgunned, outnumbered, hungry. They simply had determination to save the country. That's all. That's all. The international community had looked on in I don't know whether it was confusion, but the international community didn't stop the genocide at all. They could. Instead, they reduced peacekeepers' numbers. So the Rwandan Patriotic Front and its the Rwandan Patriotic Army stopped it. And the reason this Rudahunga, as a young man, could use his last remaining breath and speak some bit of French and say, Inkotanyi. He did not know where they were. He only knew they would save him. That's what he knew. So he knew between the difference between being saved and not being saved. And he knew Inkotanyi would save him. And that's the journey we have been on. So if we stop commemorating, all these things will be forgotten. So we should not forget. And we should not stop commemorating. Because if we forget, that is how history repeats itself. That's how in another place it can happen. And then we'll be here saying, how did it happen? 1945, never again. That's when that's the word and the strength in it and the slogan in it. That's when it was coined, isn't it? 1945. 1994 it happened. Why? Because there were no actions. There were no actions on a daily basis. There were no actions on an annual basis. There were no specific actions. Never again cannot be a slogan. No, it can only be reality because people do real actions. People do real things to transplant hate, to transplant divisionism, to transplant extremism, and replace them with something else. That's what we do. So that's what I thought I should share about why we commemorate now. The justice, I mentioned a little bit about it. Now I'm going to move so fast so that I commit myself to being brief. We did justice in Rwanda. The large plank of the approach to justice was a system called Gacaca. Many of you know Gacaca. Gacaca looked for truth, looked for expedition, looked for accountability, looked for involvement of the community, and looked for justice in the end so that we could reconcile. Because we could not do an eye for an eye, then we should reconcile. Should find a system that will take us to a situation where we can start to reconcile. Start to tell a survivor of the genocide that you are the only one whom we know has something to give. The rest of us have nothing to give you. We know you are angry, we know you are hurt, we know everything, but you are the only one who has something to give. And it's forgiveness that you can give. But you need to get there. You need to do the justice, bring people to justice, bring people to account, bring people to tell you this is what they did. So justice beyond Rwanda, I just mentioned a little bit of it. We don't control that. We keep pushing, keep struggling to get it, but many countries have done deportations of genocide suspects, have done extraditions of genocide suspects, or have done trials of genocide suspects. Many countries, the US, Canada, France, Belgium, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, name it. The odd man out I won't mention. Denial. Denial, I mentioned it, so let me jump it. But you should always remember it is the last stage of a genocide. It is the last stage. If you see someone in denial, you know that they are in the last stage of genocide. Genocide doesn't stop at exterminating people. No. It goes on to denial of the crime. That's what happened after the Holocaust. That's what's happened look at all these places where a genocide has been reported. Denial follows, just like night follows day. So don't let our guard down. Whichever place you are, wherever you work, wherever you go to pray, wherever you interact with people on WhatsApp groups or whatever. Don't allow a denier to be a denier. Turn them. Tell them denial is not going to change these facts. Tell them to turn themselves into people who accept this history, because that's the only way they can heal and be healed by that history. To survivors, you had this young man. In this room, you could pick up anybody else and they would tell you a story like his story, or worse, in this room and in many other rooms, in many other places, in the whole of Rwanda. To survive, in my view, is not just to survive in 1994. No, I think to survive is a daily struggle. I think you survive almost every day. The stuff he was telling us is stuff from his heart. He's not reading from notes, because he remembers it, like he remembers what he did in the morning. And it's 29 years. That is what to survive the genocide means. That is what it means. It is a big thing. But it is a journey with that memory. It is a journey of a lot of courage. It is a journey with a lot of renewal. And it is a journey of a commitment to the departed, those who died. So, at one point, we all owe them a duty, because they died a death they shouldn't have. So we all owe them a duty. And we will continue to owe it to them. And today, as we sit here, we owe it, we are paying homage to them. We are remembering them. We are giving them dignity. We are giving them honor. And I think the renewal that our country has put in place, put in motion, is to ensure that, yes, we have survivors, we go this journey with them. They were young, now they are big, but our children, their children, our future will not see this again. Will not see this again. These will be our last testimony givers who stand in front of us and tell us that fellow man, fellow woman hunted for me for 100 days and killed my mother as I watched, and undressed women and undressed men and killed them as I watched. This is the last generation that will do that. We should commit to this, all of us, not just the government. Every Rwandan, Ahuva Ukagera, we should commit ourselves. That these are the last testimonies we will ever get, that man, a Rwandan, hunted another Rwandan and her child and her grandchild and her great-grandchild just because they were who they were. That is what us as Rwandans, as a country, as a government, as any government, now and in the future, should be our stand. That should be our stand. This should be the foundation. Because we are human, we have a life, the dignity we want, everybody wants it. And therefore, we need to commit ourselves to a real never again. Has Rwanda overcome? Have we overcome our history, our adversity? Well, we have drummed the drums of unity for 29 years. We have called out ethnic extremism for 29 years. We have showed everybody that Rwanda was a nation. Those who are a little older than me know more than I do. Those who are older than them know what because this Rwanda, got into the bottomless pit slowly by slowly, not one day. It went down one day. So, have we overcome? I think to a large extent, yes. The assessments of our unity, whoever association, professional associations that come to Rwanda, that deal with us, that visit Rwanda, that specifically look at our unity, that specifically look at how we are making life together, I think we have largely overcome. Visitors who come to Rwanda, I think, will come out of Rwanda not having known who was driving them in the taxi, or who was serving them at a hotel, or who received them at an airport. Long ago, it used to be strictly, Urinde, Uitwichi, Urichi, and so on. These days, Rwandans are Rwandans, and I think many young Rwandans, when you ask them what they are, they all tell you they are Rwandans. That's what I have heard from every friend that has gone to Rwanda and has come back. When you ask a Rwandan, what are you? And you are trying to take them into their labels, they tell you, no, I don't have those labels. I am a Rwandan. Now, that's what it means when you are a British, when you are a German, when you are a Dutch, when you are a Swiss, when you are a Belgian. It's not because there are not all these ethnicities in those countries that I read to you. They are there. But you don't go saying I'm Flemish in Kigali. Nobody knows who is Flemish in Kigali. Nobody even cares whether you are Flemish or Wallon. But when you are in Kigali, they want to know, are you Belgian? Yes, I'm Belgian, fine. That's it. Are you Rwandese? Yes, I'm Rwandese. That's it. So we claim to be what others are. It's nothing special. Nothing special. Until I came here is when I realized, there are ethnicities in the United Kingdom. I only knew there are British people. That's all I knew. I haven't gone to Germany. I always know that there are German people. But people who go to Germany tell you, no, there is Bavaria, there is this, there is that, there is that. But when you meet them in Kigali, they are Germans. So we have built this, and we are Rwandans, and whether you are in Rwanda, whether you are in Oxford, whether you are in whichever country, you are Rwandan. And we will continue to drum these drums, and all of you drum these drums. The second thing is next generations. I saw young people here. There are younger ones behind them. There is one on the mother's lap over there. These are the Rwandan pillars. They need to be told, thank you for bringing them here. They need to be told. They need to learn. They need to see with their eyes, without even being told. They will see. They will see where their mom, where their dad stand on these issues. And very steadily, our Rwanda, our nation, we will consolidate it. It will be consolidated, no doubt about it. Because short of consolidating it, what other choices do we have? Disuniting again? No, we don't. So I think we have overcome our ethnic extremism challenges, we have overcome our disunity challenges, and it all takes leadership. It all takes leadership. Always be aware that it takes leadership to have the right things and be able to deliver on them. But denial, as I said, is an ever-present danger. But I can promise you that look at where we are now. Look at this group in this room, made up of Rwandans, made up of Britons, made up of Nigerians. I met a Nigerian friend over here, made up of people. How can deniers who are in hiding in the first place, how can deniers defeat us? It's just not possible. Let's push them underground. Let them operate underground. Let them operate under pseudonyms. But for us, we can't operate under pseudonyms. We go overground. We are proud. We are happy. We are developing a country. We are united. We should stand firm. Tujende twini. Bajende bubu. That's it. Eventually they get tired of kubu. Kubu, you just break your back in the end. Okay? And they won't be able to teach their children disunity and ethnic extremism. So we will win either way. So we need to be an army that pushes back on denial. Wherever we are, whatever we are doing, let's be an army that pushes back on genocide denial. Finally, never again. It was 1945, it didn't happen, but 1994 a genocide happened. So my take is that if you say never again to anything, you have to have actions that support, that accompany, that make what you have committed to a reality. So our never again, as Rwandans, our never again to the genocide against the Tutsi is always supported by a raft of actions. Our unity and reconciliation, our actions to bring young people in, our actions to remember, to commemorate, to remind each other of our history, to say this was a nation that was destroyed, build back together and renew ourselves. It's about politics of unity versus politics of disunity. It's about politics of goodness versus politics of badness. It's about politics of kindness, I think Susan mentioned it, versus politics of cruelty. It's about politics of love for our country. And that's my last point. It's about politics of love for our country. You friends of Rwanda, these Rwandans you see, whether they are silent, whether they are loud, whatever they are, one thing you cannot doubt about them is love for their country. They do love their country. We love Rwanda. And because of that, our generation, the next generation will work to make Rwanda a better and better and better place for all of us. Nobody will be allowed again to sow seeds of ethnic extremism, of ethnic hate, of discrimination. Nobody. I don't think this generation or the next generation will allow it. And because of that, because of what has been happening in the last 29 years, that's what explains where Rwanda is today, socioeconomically. That's what explains how the progress, modest progress that we continue to make, that's what explains it. We don't spend time in tribal conflict. We don't spend time in ethnic conflict. We don't spend time in ethnic rivalry. We don't. We spend time in looking up each other. We spend time in finding electricity and water for people. We spend time in trying to make healthcare available for everybody. We spend time in trying all these infrastructures that people need. We spend time making our airline better. We spend time doing good things. Those who are struggling every day, I think you see them on social media. Some really negative fellows, a couple of them. When I was checking this morning, what have they done in the last 29 years, apart from fighting our progress? What else have they done? Have they done some road somewhere? Have they done some water somewhere? Have they done some electricity somewhere? The fellows are underground. They are only, I think, maybe someone gives them money, but how else have they been known? By doing what? So I'm not going to name names. Probably you are on social media as much as I am. Look at them and ask those questions, those critical questions. What else is known about them for 29 years? Just look at that, and then look at Rwanda. See what we are known for in 29 years, from where we were to where we are today, including where we want to be in 2035, including where we want to be in 2050. There is a blueprint, and that journey will be taken by you, by me, by our children, by their children. Thank you so much.